The real reason why you keep snapping back into old habits and old behaviors. It's not lack of motivation, it's not lack of willpower, and it's not lack of discipline. And in a moment, I'm going to walk you through exactly what it is instead. Now, let me ask you a really powerful question, and I want you to sit with this for just a moment and actually answer this. When was the last time you looked in the mirror and truly believed you were the kind of person who eats healthy, moves daily, and takes care of her body no matter what? Not trying to become her, not hoping to become her, but fully owning that identity. Because here's the truth that most people miss: it's not the action that creates the result, it's the identity that sustains the result. And we're going to be explaining exactly what that means in just a moment. But let's start with the old way most people try to change. When most women want to lose weight or reverse their pre-diabetes or type 2 diabetes, they start with, a new diet. They start with a new routine. They start with a strict plan, and they try to just like force themselves into action. But the issue is, you can follow a plan for a while, you can stick to a routine for a bit, but if your identity hasn't shifted, eventually you'll snap back to who you believe you really are underneath. Like, I always mess this up. I have no discipline. I'm addicted to sugar. I'm not someone who sticks to things. And your brain loves to be right. It will unconsciously prove your old identity true if you're not careful. As humans, we tend to act in alignment with what we believe to be true about ourselves. If you believe that you are an emotional eater, if you say or think, I am an emotional eater, that's a defining statement. Nothing can be changed. It's who you are. And you are going to look to reinforce that in the real world. If you believe you are an emotional eater, you are going to continue to be one. A statement with I am anything negative, whatever that negative thing is, you are going to reinforce it. You are going to repeat it over and over and over again. Now, how do we create a new identity? How do we create, an identity first change? Instead of starting with, just the goal, like losing 50 pounds and lowering your A1C, we want to start with the identity piece too. Every time you follow through on a small habit, you cast a vote for that new identity. Right? There's a really cool quote by a guy called James Clear, who wrote a book called Atomic Habits. And the quote is, every action you take is a vote for the type of person you wish to become. Right? And we're going to make some more sense of that as we go through. Think of it like this. One walk, that's a vote. Choosing protein at breakfast or lunch or dinner, another vote. Saying no to the second helping, one more vote. Now, we don't need to be perfect. We just need to stack more votes for your future self than your past self. Now, let me use me as an example, right? My 3-year goal from now, if I was to fast forward and think about what I want to achieve in 3 years from now, I am not that person. The way that person thinks, the beliefs that person has, and the things that person does, that's not me right now. I have to think the way that person thinks. I have to do the things that person does, and I have to believe the things that that person believes in order for me to achieve that result. I hope that makes sense. Now, you watching this right now, the version of you that's at 140 pounds, or whatever your goal weight is. And with your A1C in remission, off diabetes meds, reverse your diabetes, that version of you is not who you are right now. That future version of self thinks differently, acts differently, and believes different things. In order to achieve that result and keep it, we have to become that person, not overnight, but by casting one vote at a time. And the ladies that I coach, we do that during baseline breakthrough. We focus on 2 to 3 easy adjustments that take less than 10 minutes a day. We get good at them, we get consistent, we get comfortable, and then we slowly evolve it over time. We are shaping brick by brick a new identity, most of the time without them even knowing. That's how easy this can be. I want you to think of it like a voting ballot, right? You've got two boxes in front of you. The box on the right is the version of self right now. The box on the left is the version of self at your goal weight with your diabetes in remission. Every decision, every action is putting a vote into one of those boxes. Our goal is to continuously put more votes into the future self box than the past future of self. We need to vote that person in. Very abstract way of thinking about it, but this is proven psychology, right? Cool. We don't need to be perfect. You just need to stack more votes for your future self than your past self, right? Now, what happens when your past identity pulls you back? And that's what we're talking about here with the real reason why you keep snapping back to old habits, right? Let's get real for a second. This is about creating a new identity, yes, but it's also about knowing what to do when your old identity tries to drag you back, because it will. It always does. At some point, you will become a victim to your own success. Right? Let me paint the picture. You start making progress. You're eating better. You're checking your blood sugars. You're starting to feel like yourself again. You're starting to feel better. But then, that familiar voice creeps in. What if, you can't keep this up? What's the point? You always fail anyway. This probably won't work for you like it does for other people. You're not like those women. You're different. That's your past identity gaslighting you into staying the same. But why? Like, why does this happen? We want to achieve the end result, right? Well, your brain is designed to protect you, even if that means keeping you stuck. Because the version of you that has struggled with your weight, battled sugar cravings or doubted herself for years, that identity feels safe because it's familiar, because it's always been there. And what's familiar is comfortable. And the second you try to change that, the old you panics. It's being deserted. It's being left. Feels threatened. She senses you're outgrowing her and she fights to survive. And that's why it feels easier to self-sabotage than to succeed. Because success means leaving behind the version of you that's been in control for decades. We all have this ceiling. Human behavior acts on a thermostat, right? This here is a ceiling. Everything above this, you've either never experienced or not experienced for a long time. That might be happiness, joy, health, financial success, love life, whatever. Everything above here, you've either never had or not had in a long time. So as we start to make changes, we're feeling better, we're feeling good, we're feeling happier, we're getting healthier. We hit this level. And what can happen is the thermostat kicks in and we start to act in alignment with who we've been for the last 5, 10, 15, 20 years. However, this is a growth pain. We have to recognize that nothing above here is actually scary. It's not unsafe. Yeah, it might be unfamiliar. And yes, it's going to be uncomfortable. But this down here is far more uncomfortable. Battling health complications is far more uncomfortable. Losing eyesight, losing limbs, having a stroke, having a heart attack, hating your reflection is far more uncomfortable than what is above here. And we have to remind ourselves about that. And we have to recognize when this is happening and double down on the actions so that we can see that, oh, no, actually, it's not scary. It's not scary. Now, how does this show up? This is where sabotage starts. Not just in your actions, but in every decision that you make. And you'll notice it in sneaky ways. You will delay starting. Next week will be better, right? I'm too busy right now. You cancel the call with me. Again, I'm too busy right now. Now's a bad time. You convince yourself it's too expensive. I should just try again on my own. You say you're not ready, maybe when life slows down. None of those are the real reason. The truth, your old identity is whispering, don't do it. You've never succeeded before. Don't risk it. And if you listen to her, you'll stay stuck as her, right? And that resistance that you feel to maybe whatever change it may be, whether it's booking a call with me, showing up to a call, investing in yourself, or just making the dietary adjustments that are required, that resistance that you feel, it's not a red flag. It's not a sign to stop. It's not proof that you're broken. It's proof that you're growing. And the bigger the pullback, the closer you are to a huge breakthrough. The more uncomfortable it feels, the more powerful this shift you're about to make. So let me say this loud and clear. Right? You are not your past habits. You are not your old habits. You are not your failures. You are who you decide to become starting today. From this second, watching this video. But if you keep stacking the decisions from the identity you're trying to leave behind, you'll never become the woman you are meant to be. So, are you making choices from your past self or your future self? One says, don't do it. You're not ready. The other says, let's go. We've got this. One keeps you safe and stuck. The other sets you free, leading to 40, 60 pounds plus lost of stubborn body fat, a lower A1C, and no more medications, right? But what if you don't believe that yet? The new identity. That's okay. You don't need to fully believe it yet. You just need to be willing to act as if it's true, that future you exists, because identity drives behavior, but behavior reinforces identity. Let me say that again. Identity drives behavior, but behavior reinforces identity. You create confidence by showing up, votes, evidence. You build belief by doing small things consistently. You don't become the new version of you overnight. You earn her one decision at a time. So, one final thought on this topic. You don't need a new plan. You don't need more motivation. You don't need to fully believe in yourself yet. You just need to show up as the woman you want to become. Small, tiny actions. Every action you take is a vote. And over time, votes become evidence. Evidence becomes belief, and belief becomes identity. And once you become her, you never have to start over again. Like I said, this is why we start with baseline breakthrough. 2 to 3 easy adjustments that take less than 10 minutes a day. So easy, anyone can do it. We stack the votes, we gain confidence, and we evolve it over time. And in that first month, the ladies that we coach lose 6 to 10 pounds on average and lower their blood sugars by 30 to 40 points. I've got a video that breaks this down in more detail. If you'd like it, comment BB down below, BB baseline breakthrough, and I'll get that over to you as soon as possible. Any questions about any of the things that we've discussed here today, all you've got to do is shoot me a message. If you found this helpful as well, comment helpful down below, and I'll speak to you very, very soon. Take care.